So, Richard, when you're talking to recruits inside the state or outside the state of Arkansas, as we were talking about with kind of visiting fans, what's kind of the first thing that they know about the Razorback football program?
Before I answer this, let me. I want to say something. When I heard this first, when you were asking, what is Arkansas known for? I thought you was talking about the state. And every time I go out of state, travel, it's two things: Razorbacks or Bill Clinton. People always talk about. But as far as the Razorbacks, I would say Darren McFadden, the Hog Call, and right now, I would say maybe Jalen Catalon would be one of those guys that a lot of people talk about, just because of obviously of his past, his last season. So Darren McFadden, Hog Call, and Jalen Catalon, and Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks.
That, you know what, you brought up something that's important, RD. We got to think about this. You mentioned Burks and Catalon. It's their last year. You got to soak this in if you're a Razorback football fan, because they're gone after this year. I know Burks is projected first round in every mock draft I've seen. Richard, what kind of draft expectation do you see with the hard-hitting safety for Mansfield legacy, Jalen Catalon?
Yeah, I totally agree with Treylon. There's no way he's going to be back for his senior year. Jalen, his height's going to hurt him. Now, his productivity, you look at that and you go, who cares? If he can play like that, he can hit like that, he can cover like that, he can make plays. He's just all over the field. So, you're going to have to find an NFL team that looks at the production and looks at his film and say, I don't care if he's 5'9", 5'10". He's everywhere. He just makes plays, and that's what you need in a safety. So I'm not convinced that he's for sure leaving after this season, and he may very well be. I would definitely consider him if I was in an NFL team. But I'm telling you, there's no doubt that NFL teams are looking at his size and thinking, man, we need a little bit more length.
Recruiting Thursday here on the Morning Rush. Two ways we can go: camps and visits. I mean, it's good to have both back on campus and happening right now. Let's talk about the official visits, and it's been good to read your stories and see the headlines and read tweets of athletes that have had great visits. What's your takeaways as we've kind of gotten back to business as usual with welcoming recruits back to campus in the last few weeks?
Man, it is just so odd. I'm not going to say so odd. It is just different because obviously this hasn't happened in such a long time. And now, in seeing some of the current Razorbacks, it's so odd because most of us, we haven't seen these guys in almost 2 years. And you've seen a difference in them, like Ricky Strongberg. I saw him the other day. Man, and I knew he was 300 plus, but the change in his body is just unbelievable, and seeing some other guys too. So that's kind of neat. But obviously with the camps, that brings prospects on campus, and you get offers put out there, and they've had some good kids come in on Monday. This all goes back to Jimmy Smith, who obviously coached at Cedar Grove in the Atlanta area. They had 20-plus kids from Cedar Grove make the trip from Atlanta to Fayetteville. That tells you a lot of what people think about Coach Smith, and for them to travel this far out. And hey, I see a pipeline coming with Cedar Grove. As long as Jimmy Smith's here, you're going to see more kids coming. Obviously, they got a running back commitment now from Cedar Grove. So, and then a couple guys the other day received offers. Melvin Lassiter, he's a kid that I really, really like. He's a 2024 linebacker from Kansas City who earned an offer, and he goes back home, and then he comes back and he camps yesterday with some teammates. I mean, usually guys camp and, it's one day and hey, I've seen enough. I'm good. I want to go to another school. He comes back a day later to camp again, and from what I understand, he's just loving Arkansas, so that's really good. He's 6'2", 237 pounds, and he does not look like a freshman, let me tell you. Then one of the Cedar Grove linebackers, a 2023 kid, got an offer from Arkansas. Everett Rusall from obviously from Cedar Grove, 6'2", about 205. He earned an offer from Arkansas, and I just DMing him last night. Arkansas is in, it's early, very early, obviously, but Arkansas is in very good shape with him right now.
Yesterday, you wrote about receiver DJ Allen from Texas. Got an impressive offer list that includes several SEC schools in Notre Dame, and also defensive back Jalen Lewis out of Tennessee, who's got just equally as impressive a list, Arkansas, Florida State, Auburn. Tell us about these two guys. I thought it was an interesting read yesterday, and some guys that plan, as people are planning out their visits and how to allocate those. There's an interesting read on those two guys yesterday.
Yeah, two guys. Those are the two guys coming in for official visits this weekend. DJ Allen from Gladwater, Texas, about 5'11", 180 pounds. He's a speedster. He ran a 10.87 in the 100 meters as a freshman, and he ran a 10.82 in April at a regional meet. And he also broke the regional long jump. I really look at the long jump too as an athletic type gauge for kids. And he jumped almost 22.8 in a quarter. So that tells you that kid's got some serious athleticism. And then Jalen Lewis, 6'2", 175 pounds from Brownsville, Tennessee. Excuse me. Coach Carter's been working on him for a long time, and to be able to get a visit from him is big, because I was talking to his coach last night. He's got 40-plus offers, and he's one of those guys. He may be a 3-star by a lot of services, but you put him in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, the guy's a 4-star or above. So sometimes it's locale where you are. And he's got offers from Arkansas, Florida State, Auburn, Oklahoma, LSU, and Allen's got Michigan, Baylor, Southern Cal, Auburn, Notre Dame, like you said. So two guys that are definitely high on the Arkansas board coming in this weekend.
Richard Davenport with us, Recruiting Thursday here on the Morning Rush. Richard, I know you probably saw the report down at Arizona State where Herm Edwards' program is being investigated for hosting recruits during COVID. And I was wondering, man, what would happen if a coach or program tried to do that? Well, they're getting investigated. How big of a deal is this? And do you anticipate other programs getting investigated as well with the past year and a half going on?
Oh, my God. When I saw that, I was like, how stupid can you be? You cannot hide. The word's going to get out when you have that many people on campus when you're not supposed to be on campus and interacting with them. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, and I don't see how you, as a coach, you keep your job. That is beyond anything I think I've seen as far as stupidity for a major college program, whether it be basketball or football. To do that and think you're going to be able to keep that under wraps with that many people, that is insane. I'm still stunned by it, man.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm kind of like yourself. I looked at it again. I was like, there's no way that actually happened. And, I know a lot of Arizona State fans, Richard, were making fun of Arizona and Sean Miller after the investigation, pending investigation, whatever you want to call it. And now it seems to come back and bite him in the butt, Tommy.
It did. I'm with Richard. How did you think you were going to keep this? They're
high school kids.
If more than one person knows, it's not a secret, right? So I don't know how you're going to keep it from happening in a social media world from word getting out, and your competitors are looking for something to turn you in on.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like there was no COVID at Arizona State. They were acting totally normal, and you have that. I'm telling you, like when you have kids on campus, you usually oftentimes have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people with him. So that is, if you had 20 prospects, you're probably going to have maybe close to 80 people total if you're hosting them for a weekend or a day or whatever. Mm-hmm. So how in the world do you think that you could get away with that? That is beyond me, man.
Hey, we haven't visited with you this week, so I want to get your thoughts on Dow Loggins joining the staff as a tight ends coach, but we've kind of had conversation throughout the week. He brings a lot more to the table than just being able to coach tight ends. What are your thoughts as Arkansas has rounded out their staff this week?
Well, I'll piggyback off the great Tom Murphy. Dow is just one of those guys that just very personable, just very, very engaging. That's number one. That's if you're going to be a good recruiter, you have to have that. You have to have personality. You have to have that ability to make people feel comfortable around you almost instantly. He has that, and then he has that resume of the NFL and OC and all of that. I was talking to Tyrus Washington, who made an official visit to Arkansas June the 4th through the 6th, tied in from Lee County, from Georgia, 6'4", 230 pounds, and 20-plus offers. And let me tell you, he's loving him some Dow Loggins because of that NFL background. And he's going to make a decision on July the 7th. And I think Arkansas is in very good shape. I think he's been waiting on see who Coach Pittman hired, and you know, a lot of times we say oh boy, it's a home run hire. This truly is a home run hire because hey, we talk about Coach Musselman and his staff having so many NBA connections and experience and stuff like that. Well, here you got a guy that was in the NFL for a long time as an OC. His resume is going to catch the attention of a lot of people.
And he gives you flexibility down the road. If there's another opening, someone comes and takes someone off your staff. From what I've heard from everyone, he's coaching tight ends, but he could honestly coach any position on the offensive side if needed. So you've got someone that's got the versatility if you need to move the pieces around on the chessboard again next year this time because someone leaves.
No, there's no doubt. And he's a very, very, very proud Razorback.
Yeah.
And very proud Arkansan. I mean, he grew up mostly in Texas, but he makes sure that everybody knows he was born in Newport, and that's Arkansas's home, and he'll be able to sell the program very well.
He won't be leaving elsewhere to go home. I mean, he is home. That Brad Davis left to go home. Justin Stepp left to go home. We've hit this point several times. He is home, so you won't have that concern at least.
Losing Brad Davis, I'm sure was kind of a little bit of a shock, and it was. But right now, I think you have to look at it and go, hey, this how it all panned out for Arkansas. I think it was a win-win.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. I mean, with Sam still there, it's an upgrade. I think all the way around in total. So
I agree with you.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll do it next week on Recruiting Thursday. Okay.
All right, my man. We'll see you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks, RD. Appreciate you. The best in the business right there. Richard Davenport with us every Thursday here on The Morning Rush.